Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Geezers. I am Wild Bill, the Unknown Comic, your host, and my partner in crime, the founding father of the show, Mr. Pete Pardo, is on the other end, out there in cyberspace. How you doing
Greetings,
today,
everybody.
Pete?
What's going on? How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good day and all that kind of stuff in lockdown, right? We're here to bring you some more vintage comic book discussion. We've decided, Bill and I have been talking a lot over the last couple months, showing off the
Yes,
shirt. There
we
it is.
have. Yes, we have.
We've been talking a lot about some of the great artist and inker team ups in, specifically Marvel history. And we've long been wanting to do some shows where we talk about some of these great runs where you had a great arter and a great inker working together to produce some of the best artwork in the history of comics. And for the first episode that we're going to do of this theme, we figured, you know what? It's got to be Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott, who worked absolute wonders on a nice long run of the Fantastic Four during the 60s. And I'm lucky enough to have a good chunk of them. And it never amazes me to look at some of these old issues and just marvel at how fantastic Marvel that this stuff is. So Bill's got something to say. Go ahead.
You just said never amazes you.
I should have said never fails to amaze me then. Sorry.
I
Never
missed the fail part.
Yeah,
I was like,
sorry. Whatever.
anyway, I was just being technical. Continue.
So one of the things that, and I want Bill to tell this story. So we actually heard it from one half of this dynamic duo's mouth a couple of years ago on how much he loved working on this book with Jack Kirby. So we met Joe Sinnott. We've met him at a couple of cons, but Bill's going to tell the story about the first time we met Joe Sinnott. We actually interviewed him, which you can see it on the channel if you go to our interviews playlist. He talked specifically about how much he loved working on this book and drawing the thing. So I'll let Bill take it over from there.
Yes, thanks, Pete. When we met Joe Sinnott, Pete had approached Joe and asked if we could do an interview with him, and Joe was like, "Yeah, sure." He was actually one of the main artist guests at that con that we saw, and so he was up to publicly speak about his life and how he got involved with comics. So he had something to do first, but he told Pete, "When I get done with that, yeah, I'd be happy to talk to you." So when he was finished with his speech and his interview with the people at the Comic-Con, he went back to his booth because he was there selling prints and stuff. And he actually took the time to spend with us and let us interview him. And so Pete was asking the questions and I was repeating the questions so Pete could hear us, because when we met him, he was 91 years old. And so one of the questions we had asked Joe was, what are some of the favorite characters that he'd like to draw? And he said his favorite character that he liked to draw was the Thing. And his second favorite was Thor. And he said he always had a lot of requests from fans when they met him to do artwork of the Thing. And then I asked him if he had ever worked on any Spider-Man, and he told us that he was doing the Spider-Man comic strip that's in the newspapers for like over 20 years. And I remember when that first debuted in the Daily News, like in the late 70s, early 80s, Spider-Man.
That was a big deal when that started, yeah.
Because it was like Spider-Man had been so popular, for 15 years with Marvel Comics at least. And then it made it into the newspapers, and it became it was right there with Beetle Bailey and Blondie and Hagar the Horrible. And, Spider-Man was part of the daily funny papers, which was cool. But Joe Sinnott is such a great guy. And then we met him a second time at a Jersey con about 7 or 8 months later, and I got him to sign those books, and he remembered us. Pete didn't wait online, but he remembered me. And, so I got him to sign 5 books. And then we saw him again last year, 2019, but the line was too long, so we didn't actually get a chance to go up and say hi to him. We let him do his thing, but I would have went up and talked his ear off again. You could easily approach that guy and talk to him about anything. He is so down to earth. And if you have a chance to meet him at your con, definitely do it. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah. And we also asked him what some of his favorite artists were to work with. And he mentioned Kirby and the Buscema brothers were 3 of the ones that he mentioned. So, yeah, really nice guy. And you know what else I found out about him doing some research yesterday? He was one of the first artists working for Marvel where they allowed him to work from home.
Really?
Because most of those guys had to go commute into New York City into their corporate headquarters to do all their work. But Joe, they let work from home, and Joe actually lives very close to where Bill and I are from here in the Hudson Valley. So he's still Kingston.
I think he was right across the street from Jimmy Fallon.
Could be right. You could be right.
I'm making that up, but we know Jimmy Fallon from Saugerties also.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. Saugerties, not Kingston. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what I've done, so I pulled a bunch of books from this historic run that Jack and Joe worked on together. And they worked on the covers and the insides. All right. I didn't pull all of them because there's a lot of them, but these are some of the more notable ones. And I want to just show you some of these just landmark covers. I mean, there's nothing like these. Nothing like them. So this is issue number 47. This is towards the beginning of their run together.
Is that, what's your oldest Fantastic Four in your collection?
Number 18 with Doc Doom on the cover. It's a good one. It's a good one. Here's number 51. And you know, when Joe says that he loves drawing and inking the Thing, there you can tell. So him and Kirby putting their magic together. This is issue number 51.
That's a great cover.
Yeah, this is an iconic cover. Here we have the second ever appearance of the Black Panther, number 53. I got this recently at the New Jersey Con that Bill was just talking about.
That you shot out of the back of your trunk of your car.
That's correct.
You got some nerve, buddy.
I'm telling you, hey, people enjoy that. Who cares, right? So here's another iconic cover. Man. I know, right?
That's ammo for life, dude.
I'm telling you, never gets old, right? Issue number 55.
Watch one of your shows and critique that I don't like you shooting out of the trunk of your car.
Hey,
I got 150 other episodes, but I'm going to harp about this one because it's the only one I've seen.
It's what you call
out of the trunk of your car.
On-the-spot guerrilla filmmaking, boys and girls. That's what it's all about. You know, we're bringing it to you wherever we go. Guerrilla filmmaking, man. That's at its best.
I've never heard that expression before.
Never heard that before? Yeah, guerrilla filmmaking, man. It's like basic. So here we have issue number 54. So this is notable. I mean, just look at all the characters you got on here. You got, I'm trying to look at this backwards, but here you got the Fantastic Four. There's Black Panther. There you got, Wyatt Wing, whatever his name is. Here you got the Inhumans over here. Okay. Classic Kirby and Sinnott right there.
That's a great cover, man.
It totally is. Yep. And then this is another classic one with the claw. So, of course, this is a big-time villain of the Black Panther. So they were teaming up with the Panther quite a bit right around this time. And, you know, this is just Doc Doom. I think I might have. Yeah, it's amazing, right? I mean, this is like
fantastic. That's suitable for framing.
A lot of these are. I absolutely agree with you. And I'm going to show you some more. Hold on here. Get this bad boy out of the package.
Please be careful.
I know, right? All right, so here's the cover. Let's see if we can get a nice splash page. I mean, just look at this. You got the Sandman's in this issue as well. So here we got
Sandman.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, that's the classic Sandman. Joe Sinnott, lettering, Artie Simek. So that's actually the trio here. So you got Stan wrote the books, Kirby drew, Joe inked, and Artie Simek actually did the lettering. I mean, it's just, it doesn't get any better than this. I read these and I'm like, this is just like, it's modern art. Well, not that much modern anymore, but for
the times.
For the time, man, just you know, and I don't know. A lot of people who like Jack Kirby, they talk about when was like the peak of Jack Kirby's like artistic career. I would say it's on these books. These books or those Thor books are just, and as great as a lot of the 70s stuff that he did is, I still think that these Fantastic Four and Thor books from the same time period. And that's the crazy thing. He was working on these two simultaneously. Could you imagine if you had to put out this type of quality every month on two major books, right? It's just absolutely nuts.
Too, didn't he, Jack?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did. All right, here we go.
Look at that.
That is actually that is the picture on my cell phone right now.
That's awesome, dude.
It's great, right? I'm telling you. I'm trying to think if there's any more in this issue. That's the bulk of it. But you know, just fantastic stuff. And
And Jack had so much of a creative flair to back up Stan Lee's story. Stan would write a script, and then Jack would add to it and tweak it, and put in his 2 cents.
And that's a fantastic point, because without the kind of ideas of Stan alongside Kirby, because let's face it, Kirby had a genius mind for storytelling too. I just think it was a perfect storm. You had these two giants, well, actually all four of them together. It's an unbeatable team. It really is. All right, issue number 58. This kind of continues these great Doctor Doom covers here. Here's one of my favorites. If you're a fan of the Inhumans, right? Obviously, they got their start in Fantastic Four, but just look at that.
What number is that?
That is 59. Black Bolt right there. Number 60. I mean, this run is just absolutely incredible. All right.
I think the next issue is my oldest, if you're showing it. 61.
I am. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's, you know what? It might be 59 because it looks familiar to me, but either 59. I know I have 61.
Was this the debut of the Sandman with the new costume? I don't remember.
I'm not sure, but that looks a lot different than the costume you just showed before.
Right. I don't remember if he debuted with this costume in this issue, or was it in that early Thor? What was that Thor? The one with the Thor and the Mandarin? He had that costume in that as well. I don't know. Right around this time, I would think. I don't know.
It looks good though.
Look at this.
Costume. That I need, and that's not going to be easy to get.
Yeah, this was a good score, and it's just, man. And he created the Silver Surfer, and I still think he's the best at drawing him, even though John Buscema did a fantastic job as well in the Silver Surfer initial series run. But I don't know.
That story? Can I go off on a tangent?
Go ahead. Yep.
About the Silver Surfer?
Yep.
I heard that Jack drew the Silver Surfer on a surfboard because he was just tired of drawing spaceships. So he put this guy on a surfboard, and at the time they were trying to appeal to the young surfing crowd in California. So they named the character Norman Rad, short for radical. Rad was a popular surfer term in the 60s. That's rad, man. Surfing was always big and it's still big in California. And so they wanted to appeal to that younger market and get them into the loop. And that's how they came about with the Silver Surfer. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I think it's a great story. Jack was just tired of drawing spaceships because there's a lot of detail. You can draw a guy on a surfboard a lot faster than drawing a big spaceship. And apparently Stan got it, was like, what's this? A guy on a surfboard? Okay, ran with it. So a lot of times when Kirby put in his 2 cents and kicked it back, the artwork to Stan was always surprised, like, this isn't what I asked for, but it fits. We'll go with it. I don't know how many times Jack and Stan had that discussion where, this isn't what I asked for, take it back, I reject it. I think most of the time Stan Lee saw something good from Jack and kept it. And it's good that he did,
Oh, in this case, absolutely good he did. I mean, it's a great story too. It's like Norman Radical. That's a great story, and I bet you it's got to be true. You would think. All right, number 73. I just got this one not long ago. I was looking for this one for a while. Classic cover right there.
I think I have it because I know that I think I have that issue.
Yeah, it's a good battle issue.
I think it's the only one I have in the 70s because I don't have a lot of old ones.
One of the only ever battles between Thor and the Thing. Go figure. You would have thought that would have happened a lot more. Here's another good one. Because, got to show some Galactus love on this one because Kirby and Sinnott did such a great job on those. Let's do it all over again. That is, what was his name? That's not Ronan, right? No, it's not Ronan.
I'm glad you didn't say Fenway Park.
No.
That's that Green Monster. Okay, good.
I forget his name. It looks like Ronan the Accuser, but I don't think it is. I forget exactly who it was. It might have been this. It It might have been this other creature that was a short-term herald of Galactus, and he actually was trying to get Silver Surfer back, if I remember correctly. Here we go. Continuing on that story, right? Kind of a different looking cover here, all red background, kind of the yellow inks on here, number 75. Here's another one of my favorite kind of call to arms battle covers, number 82.
Yeah, that's a nice cover.
Yeah, nice
I
colors
noticed
on
in the
these.
little upper left-hand corner with the Fantastic Four's got purple background. I've never seen purple background.
Yeah, that's the only issue where it does well. It's kind of, the next one's got a different shade of purple, but that's like it's kind of like a violet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, not a big fan of it.
but you don't see that too often. It's kind of unique, I think.
Yeah. So here, and this is
Look at him. Look at the snarly face he made.
so here
That's
a darker purple.
Yeah,
This is a great cover.
that's a great one, man. That's a keeper right there.
Yeah. Should this be an opener? Probably. I think we've done it before on this issue, but let's give it a shot. All right. The name is Doom. All right, let's see if we can get a nice, I mean, come on. Look at that.
He's got a gun.
Yeah.
Never seen him hold a gun ever.
Yeah, it's
Kind of menacing. He doesn't really need that gun.
no, he doesn't. But and here, all right, we got Nick Fury making an appearance here, and probably needs to be mentioned that Kirby worked a lot on the early Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos, but also the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Strange Tales. So let's see if we can get some other. I mean, just look at this. Great action going on here.
Yeah, man, Kirby could draw, huh?
But just, the two of these guys together, the three of these guys together, I mean, it's just all around the inks, the lettering, the colors, the whole nine. It's just great comic book storytelling. It doesn't get any better than this. Let's see if we can get one more. Yeah. Just look at that detail, right? It's just fantastic stuff.
That's where Joe Sinnott comes in.
Exactly. Number 85. I got two more to show you here. And then possibly even another great all-time cover. I know Bill loves this.
All 12 centers, so we're talking what, between the years 63 and 66, maybe 67?
Yeah, I think these are like 66 or 67, something like that.
Because I think in 67 is when they went to 15 cents.
Okay, so you're right, probably 66.
Somewhere in there. 67, I think they jumped to 15 cents, or 68. Definitely by 68, they were 15 cents.
One of the great things about these covers is, and Bill has pointed this out before, is look at how gigantic and menacing they make Doc Doom look on the covers. Pretty ingenious, if you ask me.
Yeah, he dominates the action scene.
And that's how it should be, right? The cover should make the villain look menacing, because we talked about that in a recent episode where, if the hero it was that the Spider-Man Electro thing. If looks like the superhero is getting over on the villain on the cover, not the biggest hook to guide the book, because you want to know how the hero overcomes the villain. So you got to make the cover look like the villain is kicking some ass, right?
Yeah, there's a conflict and he's dominating. The villain is dominating, and our heroes are doomed. But we know we've got to read through this comic and see how they get out of it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
How they get out of this death trap.
Yep. So there you have it. There's our little tribute to the artistic team of Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott. We've got another one cooking for you for next week. We were actually gonna do it today, but we had thought that Joe Sinnott worked on a lot of those classic Thors with Kirby as well. But as it turns out, Vince Coletta was the guy who did the bulk of that amazing run on Thor right during the same time period. So we're going to focus on that next time. So we've got a couple other teams that we're looking to do in the months and weeks ahead. And if you guys have any suggestions, we'd love to hear them. So
somebody else made a suggestion recently about we should do an episode on favorite covers. And we used to do, whoever wrote that comment, I forget, we used to do favorite covers at the end of our episodes of Comic Book Users when we first started. But somewhere along the way, we got lost on that. But we did do several episodes with favorite covers. So it's definitely something we were going to do again.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing 10. I'm doing more.
Well, that's the thing. How can you do 10, right? So, I mean,
That's what I
I just
thought.
showed you 15 here that I could easily pick. So it's probably going to be a top 25 each or something like that. And
Well,
maybe
I
we
had
make
a
it a,
different idea that I was going to pitch you off the air, but I'll do it now before we wrap up. 10 favorite covers per hero, and put
I
that
like
all
that
together
idea.
in one
I
episode.
like that idea. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah,
That
I
works
always
for
got
me.
the see. You're the founding father of the show, and I got the creative input. So that's what makes this team work. We're a unique comic book users team. I'm
That's
Walt.
right.
Thanks for being here as always. We appreciate your subscriptions, your comments, and your views. And we know that you love comics as much as we do. So come on back and see us next time. I'm
And
out of
next
here.
time is what do we got next time? Tales to Astonish, right?
Yes.
Bingo. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll see you real soon. For a while, Bill, I am Pete. See you next time. Thanks for coming.